chance for some showers. High temperatures in the low 50s. I'm meteorologist Lou John.
Today, we are in Illinois on the, I think that's, Ohio River. Got a 385B down there. Caterpillar came and did some work on it. Now the TopCon system doesn't work. So, yeah, we'll go through the system, find out what they unhooked. A wire or two, maybe. Maybe they cut some wires. Who knows? I do believe I installed that one. Maybe. I don't know. I know I installed that one. There's another one out here too I installed. This might be the long reach that I installed. I don't remember. It's been a few months. Anyway, alright, I need to get a vest because there's a lot of safety rules out here. You gotta get a flotation vest to be out there and do the thing. So, okay, we got our OSHA approved flotation device. And we gotta go. I told them don't bother taking that off the barge. It's such an ordeal. They gotta move the barge and line it up, and many things can go wrong. It's fine just the way it is. I'm only looking for wires and testing and stuff like that, so there's nothing I need that thing off the barge for. So let's get to work. Yeah, that's the one I installed.
Was it?
Yeah, well, it got bashed up pretty good right there. It's probably got a damaged cable, most likely. That's a 10-meter cable. Okay, so they had shipped the MCI4 and display to us. We tested them. They were fine. And this is where the MCI4 goes. Okay, there's the main auxiliary, labeled blue. Good. Good. Alright. Just have to check all these cables and make sure they're good. And we gotta test the system, so what's not working, I don't know. I have to figure it out. It's pretty darn cool out here, that's for sure. So what they're doing is, there were dams in here, segmented dams every so often. They're ripping them out, so yeah. This is the long reach 385 that I installed. You look at how many green clamps there are in that thing. Oh my god, I was welding all day. But they got some damage on that bucket cable. I guarantee you that's probably the issue. Alright, SiteLink, UHF. Well, let's see what happens here. So I checked the fuse. That was the first thing I did. Looks like it's a good fuse. Hard to tell. We'll find out right here if it doesn't go. Yeah, it's a good fuse. Alright. That's interesting. Needs a couple more bolts in that. Alright, so they don't have their base up. So, alright, the entire machine is red. This is the 385. Let's go in and see. What do we got for body? Nothing. Body, label up, arrow forward. Where did I put that body? probably, I think I put it right down on the side of that hydraulic. So we'll check that. I believe it's label up, arrow forward. We'll find out. And this one says label left. That's the boom. That's correct. Oops. That one's labeled left. That's correct. The attachment dog bone is labeled left. That's correct. I got 2 attachments, 2 buckets they use on this, and I don't believe that one's the 6-footer. I believe that one's the small one that's on there. So we'll have to just measure that and make sure. And everything looks fine in the box. Let's go look at the GPS real quick. No GPS. Not doing anything. Okay. Alright, let's go out and look at the GPS. There's the body sensor. It's kind of loose. Well, so far everything looks fine, except this return CAN cable. This comes off of here, goes around, comes down, goes down in, and should go up into the cab. I don't see it by the display, so we're not getting any sensor reading because none of the sensors are connected. It needs to be connected to that CAN cable. Looks like somebody might have bashed that one a little bit. That GPS auxiliary looks fine. Main looks fine. We'll just take it off and take a look at the connector. Yep, good connector. Let's take a look at that end. Oh, yeah, that does not look good. Let's take that off and take a closer look. Oh, okay, just my eyes. That is good. I'd rather think it's bad and have a closer look than just disregard it. So, alright, so we know we probably definitely have an issue down there. Bucket cable, which is a 10-meter cable going up to the stick, and we definitely have an issue. We need to locate the other end of that CAN cable for the sensor. Okay, I see a CAN cable down there. Is that my CAN cable? Where's it going? Alright, it's going out. Alright, it's coming up here. Let's take and cut that. Cut that. Get a closer look. Make sure that CAN cable is connected to the right one. I thought, yeah, it's loose. I thought they were supposed to be connected here. I'll have to double check on that, but I think that's MCI 3, maybe. This is MCI 4. So let me check the schematic and double check, make sure. Alright, so what I got, wired in a temporary Medusa cable, which is the main cable for the MCI 4 and the display. Let's give it a shot. So I think they have a bad Medusa cable. Everything's connected. Power on. Give it a shot. Hopefully we start reading our sensors, huh? Thought I saw something bad in there. And it's a little bashed on this end right there, but it's hard to say. It's hard to say where they go bad in these Medusa cables. Alright, we got power, so that's good. So yeah, I talked them into just removing that protective hose over the cable, because they're going to booger up cables. They want to be able to take that cable on and off as they're digging out there. If they're into some nasty concrete, which they are, rebar stuff, they don't want that system on there, and I agree, you don't want that system on there. GPS receiver not connected. Still nothing. Interesting. That is so interesting, because that is a new Medusa cable. It's doing exactly the same thing as the other Medusa cable. So interesting. Huh. So, what do we got? We got, let's see here. We got issues with our adapters. We're gonna have to check for voltage. Let's see if we got voltage coming out. At least. Alright, so I'm going to disconnect here because the system's overloading, and we're actually going to just take this off because I think we are shorted out. I can't really see in there, but that looks like a bad spot to me. There's another one. Knock that off and see if it's actually... No life there at all. No life. Let's just take that whole thing off. Now there's the broken bucket cable right there. Alright, so I've removed the bad cable, which is causing an overload, and I'm just doing a factory reset on the main and auxiliary because GPS still does not want to kick. There we go. Oh, the MCI4 light is still, power light's still staying on. I was getting an error. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Alright, so what I did is I terminated buckets out, of course, because nothing's connected. Slope sensor is offline, of course. Let's see if I can, main window, profile view, no, section view, no, lower window, section view, lower window, profile. It's not coming up. Interesting. Anyways, trying to get the side view of it, which should be the profile, right? It's not coming up because that slope sensor is disconnected. We're not connected to a base, so I wanted to make sure that GPS was still working. And okay, auxiliary, what are you doing? Auxiliary, what are you doing? What are you doing? Alright, so we have no auxiliary, but we do have main. Let's just do a restart. See if it doesn't bring that auxiliary. This is on the new Medusa cable, so now I have to test their old Medusa cable. I figured that that would be the issue. that cable was so badly damaged that it shorted out. It was shorting out everything. It was causing all kinds of overload issues. Alright, main is good. Nothing on auxiliary. Alright, so we need to check out auxiliary cable issue. We'll check power at the MCI4 and see what's up. I'm just going to set them up without a cable because they're not going to use that protective hose anymore. I talked them into not using it because it's the downtime to replace that cable. You cannot get a new cable through that old hose. You got to buy new hose every time because the green clamps compress it and it will not let the head of that cable go through it. So I told him, I said the best thing to do is, as part of the job, you're going to tear up stuff, right? So if you tear up a cable, it's 10 minutes to replace it. You don't have to go through the trouble of taking off that hydraulic hose and replacing that hydraulic hose, running down to the store, getting more and all that other stuff. Just run the cable through there, connect it, and you'll be good to go. So auxiliary, let's figure that out. Alright, that's the old MCI4 cable. Let's see if it works, because if not, we'll have to just wire in that new one. But seems like it's working fine right now. GPS. There we go. Good GPS. Let's just hope the auxiliary comes up. I got voltage all down here for... Bam. That's what I was looking for right there. You see how the bucket is out? Bucket is red. Well, that's because I disconnected the sensor. And I put the terminator on the stick. Let's go in and check auxiliary. Nothing. Alright, so let's go out and test the power at the auxiliary antenna itself. Will we have power at the auxiliary? Is the question. I don't think I can do this one-handed, so I'll shut you off and let you know. No power at auxiliary. Where did you go bad? That is the question. Where did you go bad? Comes down here. And just goes straight down to the MCI4. Interesting. It's got to be at one of the connectors. I don't see any damage anywhere. Huh. That's interesting. Typically you can find something, but and this is a factory cable. We'll have to run a new one. Just swapped around their end adapters here, and I put that auxiliary on the main side. Well, let's go into the main and see if we have... Okay, so there's nothing there. So that cable, it's not the connector. I thought maybe it was the small adapter, but I mean, we're getting nothing out of there. Do a restart just for safe measures. And see if we get anything on the main, which is the auxiliary that we're testing. Nothing. So it needs a new cable. Interesting. I don't know where that would have went bad. Somewhere out there. Alright, so we got a test cable on. A 10-meter CAN cable. I put a brand new sensor on. We're going to calibrate that. But first things first, we got to get this GPS up and running. So replace that cable. The Tombigbee, something like that. Some awesome work they do out here. Alright, so we got GPS working. Just ended up being the adapter, which is weird because I tested it. Voltage was going through it, but you remember what I said, you can't trust just voltage. Just gotta pass data. Alright, we're gonna go through and just calibrate that bucket up real quick. That's a long boom, long stick. You can go up. Okay, so again, we need to line up those 3 pins, make a 90 level. I just want to remeasure this bucket because they got 2 buckets in there. This is just temporary. What they're going to do is just a small piece of protective hose up to that first clamp, or maybe that second clamp. I'm going to leave them some green clamps where they can weld on new ones. It'd be too much of a pain in the butt for me to do that on a barge. So, alright, I'm going to set up my tripod right over there and we're going to shoot this thing. We got to hurry up because the hydraulics bleed on this. Right now we're square. We got a right angle, but bleeds it does. Alright, so we got auxiliary GPS working. I calibrated that bucket sensor as best I could with a moving barge and hydraulics that are leaky. We're going to take the cable off until they're ready to use it. We'll take the sensor off until they're ready to use it. When they're ready to use it, they'll take and just put that right back on like that. Most likely just take and put a small piece of protective hose up to I'd say probably that green clamp right there. That way it'll secure it at this end while they're digging and stuff. But it just makes it so much simpler not to have that hydraulic hose on there because they're gonna tear it up, and when they do, it's a quick 10-minute repair instead of 3 hours. Alright, that's it, all buttoned up. GPS works, sensor works, all calibrated and everything. I'm leaving behind a couple pieces of bucket protective hose, couple green clamps for them, bucket sensor and cables in there. So when they want to put that on, they can put that on and go back to work with GPS. And we are finished with that one. They can get back to work. The Tom Bigby is leaving. Rolling out to sea. I think they just came in for lunch. So I'm updating modem firmware because we got Mobi control on this iSight. It's not working. I'm trying to get it working.